Hi, I'm Jake. I make RPG supplements and videos about Pathfinder 2 or PF2. I love PF2, and I suppose I have to say by extension, I love Starfinder 2 or SF2. I really do, partly because Starfinder allows for Pathfinder stuff in it. So, like, if I already love all the stuff in Pathfinder, Starfinder is just Pathfinder with more options. In space! I love the sci-fi genre and sci-fi tropes. I'm more of a fantasy kid, but I've watched so much sci-fi that it's really nice to be able to flex some of my mental resources and recall plots, characters, and just images from different sci-fi episodes and movies that I've seen. Like, you can do a lot more transporter stuff and weird transporter shenanigans, like everything that happened in Star Trek with the transporters. Or you can even do holodeck stuff. Like, it's such a rich environment. So, a couple of things that I want to point out that you might want to be aware of that is very different between Pathfinder 2 and Starfinder 2. One of them is the piloting skill. Yes, I know it exists in Pathfinder 2, but it's not used a lot. And in Starfinder 2, it doesn't have to be used a lot. But it can be something you use for epic ship-to-ship combat. I know the Starfinder 2 main core book and the Galaxy Guide don't really have useful rules on ship-to-ship combat. But you can just run it loose anyway. Just make obstacles like asteroids or floating ship debris and require piloting skills to get around it. Or just piloting skills to maneuver around on a planet that has its own weather patterns that are anything you want. Like in the live stream, and I'm going to refer to the live stream a lot. In the live stream that I did a few weeks ago on the Starfinder 2 tech playtest, I used a lot of tropes from sci-fi. And I want that to be a reference that's available for you guys if you want to go take a look at it, because I had it be like the abandoned laboratory, the abandoned space station on a planet that stopped communicating, so people had to go and investigate it. And it was like sort of chestburster style aliens, but at the same time, the people that worked there were using the alien biology to create all sorts of different things, like psychoactive skins from 3.5 D&D, skins that you can wear. They're basically symbiotes, and they had them that you could just grab and put on, and then you gain claws and a bite attack and increase speed and just really cool random shit. Like, you can take superhero ideas and do them in sci-fi too. And something that I really like about sci-fi is that, not just sci-fi, but Starfinder 2 in specific, is that there is a new skill, computers. In the 2 one-shots I've been in that were Starfinder 2, the computer skill was like way underutilized. If computers run everything in Starfinder 2, that computer skill could be useful constantly. And I love that the androids have an ability to be wirelessly connected to any tech device or tech monster within 30 feet just because they have onboard Wi-Fi. So computers are something that are ubiquitous. In our world, sure, but also they'd be so much more in a sci-fi environment. So keep in mind that anywhere your group is going, there can be computer interaction. And you could always have somebody roll computers for basically anything. And feel free to use technology that's from other sources, like Star Trek has the tricorders, and that's been in development on our planet. Well, yeah, on our planet, inspired by Star Trek. For the last several years now, I think for the past decade, actually, tricorders are being developed. And so there is no specific stats for a tricorder, an analytic device that can get information about the environment or minerals or energetic fields or medical purposes. Like, it could scan for head injury or blood clots. Like, they have data pads in Starfinder 2, but you could just extrapolate on that. And if you have a data pad, you have a tricorder for whatever purpose it makes sense that your class can do. Like, if you are a mechanic, then it makes sense that you would have a tricorder that would study and analyze all sorts of metallic compounds and technological devices, and probably energy currents as well. If you have the medicine skill, you'd probably have it programmed into your data pad, your tricorder, to be able to use your tricorder in conjunction with your medicine skill to get more information, or just detailed information that's useful on all of the characters around you, or just on plant life that you find. Alien biology could be easily read on a datapad tricorder. Something they don't really touch on as far as I notice, I mean, maybe I'm wrong on this, because there's a lot in the books. I could be wrong. I didn't see a universal translator. Granted, if you have one, why take languages? I know it could be done with magic, or magitech items, hybrid items that are magic and technological, but I don't remember any that were universal translators. Anyway, my point is just that, remember that when you're doing SF2, unlike PF2, you're stepping into a world that is easily engaged with the skills of piloting and computers in ways that PF2 just doesn't have access to. Like, if you're in a starship, you can probably have an escape pod that you could also pilot. If you are anywhere with anything technological, you could use computers. You can build a more immersive environment if you just think of any sci-fi movies and TV shows that you've seen before and just cram all of it in. Your players are going to be able to choose from what you put out there what they like the most, and then just iterate on that. Anyway, that's my big understanding of my takeaway from reading a lot of Starfinder stuff and playing in a few games and running one. Starfinder 2 is a great outlet for the sci-fi nerds to cram their fantasy into their sci-fi. Like a fantasy sci-fi sandwich. Or for people who love fantasy, but also want to be able to travel the stars and meet all sorts of new and interesting weird life forms. Like in the Galaxy Guide, there's a bunch of new ancestries. I love the Astrozoan. There's starfish shapeshifters. What's not to love about that? Let me know in the comments if you have played in SF2 games, especially those that incorporated things from PF2. Because a mystic is amazing, but I could also see an oracle in space. They have really cool powers, and there's still deities and divine powers and arcane magic in space in Paizo's greater universe. So let me know what you've played that's combined those things, or if you've just played Starfinder 2, and give me your impression on it. I know it's a work in progress, and in some ways it's just like, you know, organizational issues, but it's also just missing some stuff like ship-to-ship combat. I want to say thank you to everybody who helps this channel, whether that's being a patron at the link below in the description, or if it's just sharing, liking, subscribing, commenting. Everything that you do helps this channel out. And I would like this channel to be as big as possible and be able to help as many people as possible. So if you like what you see, share it. Maybe somebody else would be interested too. If you want to see any of my Starfinder 2 coverage, it's here. If you want to see specifically that live stream that was the adventure that I just made up off the cuff and ran, that's going to be this link here. Thank you, and I will see you there. It's a